trying to find a CD. Hi, Julie. I was just checking to see if it was actually. Ooh, I forgot that was there. Good morning. Live recording. I think one of our very first. That's kind of. Hi, Kevin. Did you leave? Hey, everything. Hubert, nice to see you. Happy Sunday. Hi. Look at that drumming in the background. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Susan. Hi, Susan. So I'm excited. It's Sunday morning. And Jeremy Steinkoler. Caitlin, what's up, girl? Yay! I gotta give Caitlin a hug. She is really good. Too. Miss you, girl. And here we are at 11. Gina. Good morning. Hi, RP. Got a drummer for you today. Gina. You gotta come back on one of these days or nights. Talk some checking. Hi. Thank you. I feel it. So today, Jeremy Steinkoler is my guest. I thought he was tonight, but he's this morning, so he's up early. Hi, Alan. Alan Norton. Nice to see you. Ooh, Alan, will you be on my show? Caitlin, I want you on the show too. Everybody's invited. I just can only have, I think, that wouldn't be fun? Why? Lisa. Hola. Johnny Jonene. Good morning, Vinny. Ooh, Vinny, today's cool. Great drummer. I'm in Michigan. Would be fun. Yes, it would. It is. We've done this. You know it's fun. Damn autocorrect. It's all fun. He does a solo here in a minute. That's why I'm still dancing and listening to it. Yeah, right? Are you in Oakland? I miss Oakland. I miss 510 so much. I made really great pancakes this morning. Blackberries, blueberries, cherries in this gluten-free combination. Good morning, Mama. And it's called Mama's Pancake Mix. And I put chia and hemp seeds and that's it. Very good. No. Who's Alan Stone? But Caitlin, will you be on my show? You have to hit with him. Mama Grace! We had fun last night. We had a social distancing birthday party for Cam. His girlfriend. Oh, good. I'll message you. On Messenger? that she's coming on the show. Oh, Cam's fiance, Alex, decorated his van like a tiki bar. And so they had it all decorated inside, and then they brought rum drinks with umbrellas, and Mama Grace, and Cam, and Alex, and Jeanette, and Mitch, and Tammy, and Mark, and Mikey, and his wife. All sat in the garage, you know, social distancing, drinking rum drinks during the thunderstorm. I love this band, Jenna and the Charmers. Oh, and my shirts? Schaller Gallery, Anthony. Huh? Are they here? Charlie and Reagan, are you here? Sarah? Oh, Sarah. I can't wait to play with you. I can't wait to see you. Wow. I love what you've been posting and your children, and super cool. Beautiful. And oh, Sarah's an amazing pianist. Sarah, I would love to have you on the show sometime. It's on every day, 11:11 a.m., 11:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Usually I have another light over here. Ah, yeah. Now I'm about to smile a lot more because Jeremy Steinkoler will be in the house in about, well, he won't be in my house, but he's in his house. Yep. Yep. Good morning.
Hey,
good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing okay. Hanging in. How about you?
Same. Hanging in. Doing all right. Trying to getting you in. I love the color of your studio.
Thank you. This was like just the man cave, but it turned into the drum studio once Shelter in Place started.
Oh, because because the studio, you're not going to the studio at all.
No, my studios were closed down. They're locked. You can't even get in there except to get your stuff.
Really?
Yeah, they're still.
Wow.
So circles, no lessons down there. I had to convert my downstairs office into a drum studio for teaching, and remotely I'm doing all the Zoom lessons and that's all recording. I got a whole new recording setup too, which has been cool.
Cool. I hadn't even thought of that, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy Steinkoler.
Hey, everybody.
I'm kind of bright here because I have a light. Here, I'll put you up closer. And I have to take my person out of. This is Jeremy Steinkoler. He's an incredible drummer. I might have to move one thing and move you this way, so it'll be a little bit better, I think. Sometimes I can bring people on camera and sometimes I can't. And this light, I'm going to turn this light off for now. There. That's a little bit better. Can you guys see Jeremy? Caitlin says hello.
Hi, Caitlin.
Cornwell Reynolds. You know Caitlin. Beautiful singer. I'm going to turn this off. So what's been going on in your life? You're teaching, you're parenting.
Right.
How's that going?
That's challenging.
I bet.
Yeah, 14-year-old cooped up at home with his two parents. It's been tough. Motivation sort of went straight down, much of anything. But, we're trying to tread lightly and give him a lot of room and space to do his own thing. But he's doing okay. He had the the lead role in Guys and Dolls at Berkeley Playhouse doing a musical production. And of course, like as soon as he got the lead role, the shelter-in-place hit, so they weren't able to. But they did rehearse on Zoom for a couple of months, which was good. It kept him occupied and busy and doing something he was loving. So.
Could they do it? Is there any way they could perform it on Zoom?
No, they're going to try to do a performance later when things chill out. They're going to sort of get the group back together and try to put it on stage in some fashion. So.
Yeah, like she did. Like Caitlin just said, "Damn SIP." Well, wow.
Yeah.
So is he one of those? Is he a gamer?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he stay up late?
Yeah, later than ever. It's like he turned into a teenager like that. I mean, really, like a month ago, all of a sudden it was like, bam! You can't tell me what to do. I was like, what?
Wow. And how are you guys keeping up with him on his homework?
He had this giant project that was due last week, and he finally got it done. And now he's kind of coasting for the last 2 weeks because he's going to high school next year. But the good news is he's doing El Cerrito High, and he already placed into like the top jazz ensemble.
Awesome. That's a cool school. I used to live near there. I love that school. I love the building.
Yeah, the new one is really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. So what else have you guys been doing? You walking?
I've been riding my bike a lot. I got back into biking when I was in my 20s. I did the AIDS ride from SF to LA to raise money for AIDS research and foundation stuff, services. And so I was really into it back in my 20s and hadn't ridden much since. But this has been a great opportunity. So I've been riding my bike up into the hills a couple times a week, 3 times a week. It's been great. It's the only thing keeping me sane, actually.
And your hips?
Fine.
Okay, I'm getting... No, I did not. I was just asked if I remembered to get dog food out of my car. Did not. Forgot the dog food in my car. I didn't know it was in my car, but I guess I did. So how far are you going now? How many miles a day?
Like 20, 25. But it's up in the hills, so it's hard rides, but it's good.
Have you been doing any more writing?
Writing?
Yes.
No, not lately.
He has a book.
I do have a book.
What's your book called?
My book is called Finding the Groove. I published it last year. Here, I have a copy over here. Can you see it all?
For all you drummers out there, which I know there are quite a few, I have a lot of drummers that come on this show. Finding the Groove, Jeremy Steinkoler. How do we get a copy?
You can get the paperback on Amazon, and the digital version is on Hudson Music. Hudson Music is a company that publishes lots of drum books and drum videos, so they picked up the digital version.
And is it a book that someone that is a non-drummer would enjoy?
Oh yeah,
Understand?
So on Groove, and there's a picture of a snare drum on the front. It's really cool. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a compass, like a picture of a compass on the surface of the snare drum, and the stick is the needle, and it's pointing toward the north.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's not, even though it looks like it's for drummers, it's not just for drummers at all. It's a book of essays. It's not exercises. There's no written music. It's just words. And it's a book of essays about music and about life and about teaching and about performing. And there's a little bit of parenting in there, a little bit of baseball in there. But mostly it's kind of like things that I wish I'd known when I was younger as a working musician and as a parent. Just things that I've learned from playing, from teaching, from building relationships around music, and also about practicing. And so really anybody who pursues a passion or hones a practice of any kind, it could be dance, it could be painting, it could be drawing, it could be yoga even. There's a lot of stuff in there about how to effectively hone a practice and get the most out of the effort you put in.
Cool. And how did you start writing a book? Like, did you sit down and say, I'm going to write a book?
I've been teaching drums since I was in college, so I don't even know how long.
Where did you go to college?
University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. So I started teaching lessons when I was in college just to make some money on the side. And when I moved out to California, right after I graduated, within a year, pretty much was doing that full time and playing and gigging and teaching. And over the years, I found in my teaching practice that I ended up telling stories a lot. And sometimes I would tell stories to illuminate, certain concepts about drumming, or to share some wisdom about something, about how to practice, or about how to get gigs, or about how not to practice and how not to get gigs.
Right.
And I felt like at one point, like, wow, I tell some of these stories a lot, and it would be really cool to have them, to put them down on paper and sort of leave them for people to appreciate who aren't just my students. And I was watching some video, I think it was an interview with Oprah Winfrey one night, and it was really intense and powerful. She's a pretty amazing woman, and I didn't really have an appreciation for her before that in the same way. And right after I watched that video, I took out my computer and I started writing, and I ended up writing until 3 a.m, just kind of like a brain dump of all these things I wanted to put down and all these areas I wanted to touch on. And from there, it was a process of about 2 years of, working intensely on it, and then not working at all on it for several weeks at a time. And then there were a lot of times when I thought I was done with it, where I was like, okay, finally it's done. I even announced it on Facebook, hey, I finished my book. And I was like, and then I gave it to the editor, and it was so far from finished. And that was a really good lesson. And I realized that the editing was just as important as the writing, and even it took me quite a long time to put it into the right format and get rid of a lot of stuff and redundancies, and make it more powerful by making it more streamlined and organized.
Did you edit it? The book?
No, I hired an editor. Okay. Well, I hired an editor, but it's not like you just hand it to them and they give you back a finished work. It's more like they write all sorts of comments, and then you have to do a lot of work to refine it or change your writing or adapt it. So editing is sort of a collaborative process. I thought it was like, oh, you just hand it to them and they fix it and give it back to you.
Right.
Not at all. Not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, it's like you hand it to them, they write lots of comments, and it's not like redline editing. That's the last part. Like the big editing is developmental editing, where they it's all conceptual, and they talk about you mentioned this here, but you also mentioned something similar 20 pages later, and which one is more important and which way is more effective to say it, and the flow doesn't work because of this and that. You have to rearrange the structure, and so it's a lot of work.
So you hired an editor. Did you interview editors first? And that's like someone going, here's my singing, and they're going to change it however they want to change it. They're going to manipulate it.
Right.
How do you learn to trust that person?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's like hiring a producer, right?
Mm-hmm.
For our music or your project.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up having 2 editors, and the first one I got on a recommendation through someone who I knew in the industry. So it was actually like an editing house, like a company or business that does editing. So they had all sorts of steps, and they were great. And I really, really liked the woman who was the first editor, except it got really expensive. So after the first round or 2 of it, I just couldn't keep affording it. But it still needed the next stage of editing, like redlining stuff. So then I found a second editor who was much, much cheaper and still good, and had more experience with music stuff specifically. I used her, and she was good too and effective. But this is an interesting story. Toward the end of that process with her, she was really trying to get me to change the book around in a pretty dramatic way. She wanted me to turn it into a drumming for dummies kind of book.
Oh yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
And thought that would really be much more commercially successful. And I had to struggle with that for a while because it just wasn't my vision for what I was wanting to put out. And she was really pretty adamant about it, that was the way it should be. and I should have all these, like boxes around text and pull side quotes and, make it kind of like graphically more interesting. And, people just didn't want to read words. And I did some soul searching about it, and I decided not to do it. And that stopped her from pitching it to Hal Leonard because she didn't think it was going to be, what they were looking for. And but I felt I'm so happy that I didn't do that because it came out exactly the way I wanted it to. And I was like, you know what? I don't care if this is commercially successful. I'm not going to make any money from this. I'm putting this out there because this is stuff that I need to put out into the world to share, from my experience and from my heart. And I need to put it out the way I want, that I envision it to be. It's like imagine you're in the studio and your producer's telling you, you've got to do it this way, or you've got to add strings, or you've got to change the arrangement, and you're like, it just doesn't feel right. Hard to say no in that context because you're hiring the professional who's got all the experience, who's got all the credentials, and who's made all sorts of people famous, but I don't have any regrets about doing it the way.
Sorry, Lillian's here.
Heck.
Lillian Pearl, Jeremy's here. She went. So Jeremy and I are in a band together.
Ooh, I have one of those.
What's that? Jenna and the Charmers. Hey, Janelle Burdell. Here's Jeremy Steinkoler, my drummer friend from California. Janelle is my drummer friend from Pittsburgh.
Hey, Janelle.
And I think there's a bass player, Ian is on. Ian Jesse, bass player, lives in New York, used to be in Michigan. And Caitlin, also vocalist. And Ricky's a pianist. We have a band.
Let's get it going.
Sarah, another pianist, Sarah. And yeah. And RP's here. RP, from a drummer from New Mexico, friend of mine. He was on last week, and Janelle's been on the show, and there's a writer, and yeah, so cool. So Jenna and the Charmers, can you talk about how that started?
Yeah. So I saw Jenna sing at Yoshi's with Andre Bush, I don't know, 1997 maybe.
Wow.
And that was the first time I had seen either of them, I think, and I was totally blown away. I remember leaving that show thinking, like, wow, I'd like to play in that band. And it was not until several years later that Andre and I started playing together, and he ended up being sort of my main guitar player for about a year and a half. I had a jazz quartet of my own, and we were gonna do some recording, but we ended up losing him tragically, and that was really hard. But I think it was a few years after that I just emailed you on Facebook out of the blue, and I said, Jenna Mammina, you don't know who I am, or maybe you do. I don't think you do.
I wish you would have come up and introduced yourself at Yoshi's.
I was young and shy at the time. And I think I don't remember. Anyway, so I emailed you and I said, you don't know, maybe you know who I am. I don't think so, but I used to play with Andre, and I know you guys played all the time, really close. And I've always wanted to play in a group with you, and I think you're an amazing singer. And you wrote back and said, I know who you are. Andre talked about you, and I would love to do something. Let's hang out. Let's talk. And that was the beginning of this amazing journey, this amazing relationship that just has gotten deeper and richer. And we ended up putting this group together based on our conversations and our musical choices and our tastes and our conceptual ideas. And it came out. I think this is the best album that I've ever played on.
It's a fabulous album. And
it's really good. Yeah. So we ended up with Ryan Lucas on the bass, playing upright and electric. He's since moved out of town, but he plays just fabulous on it. And Eve Bissinger, who's become a good friend of both of ours, plays just exquisite guitar. And I still listen to it. It's still, and when I listen to it, I the whole album. It's not oh yeah that one was fun. Oh, that was a nice track. It's like the whole thing still carries my attention, and it's so hard. Most of the albums that I play on, I have a hard time listening to, just because I hear things I want to do differently, or I'm so critical, right? You know how it is, musicians, it's hard to listen to yourself. But this one, I just don't have that. It's just like, Yeah, it just feels good.
It's such a great. It's not like we're sitting there going, "Yeah, we made such a great record."
No.
It's a really great record. I listen to it. I put it on. I have a CD player right here, and in fact, I was trying to find it, but it's in the other room, and and then I thought, oh, I can just bring something up online. But I listened to it, and Steve's such a badass guitar player, and
Really?
then I think Ryan's so great, and then I hear you, and it's like, it's just it's a great band, it's a really great band.
Well, you're the focus. I mean, it is a great band, and not to whatever mutual admiration society, but you sound amazing on it, Jenna. Your singing is so good.
Thank you. So when are we going to do this again, and where are we going to do this again? How are we going to do this again?
Right, I know. I was talking to someone the other day. We had a jam session out in his driveway. So he had a drum set there, and he had his pickup truck with his bass amp.
Oh, that's cool.
Or the guy down the street had the bass amp, and we all just sat around, 10 feet apart in a driveway and played really quiet. And a lot of people on the street stopped by, like enjoying it, and we're all so desperate for that connection, and the live music thing. And this friend was talking about, outdoor shows where everyone's spaced apart and the band is spread far apart, and he saw that as sort of the next step. And I hope that that's true, because that was the first time I had played music with other people other than playing with my son. And
who's incredible.
Thank you. He is really good. And it felt so good. It felt so good to play. It filled this thing. It filled my soul to play. I know I missed it, but that's saying I missed playing music. That's like an intellectual thing, and then playing it made me feel it on a gut level. Like, oh man, I'm so fortunate to play music. I'm so fortunate that this is what I get to do, because it's so fulfilling, and I do really miss it.
I did a gig on Friday night, first time that I had performed, because I'm here with Lillian in Michigan, and we did a gig. My friend Tom Costanzo lives in Indiana but has a place here in St. Joe, and he was in town. I knew he was going to be in town for just overnight kind of thing, and my cousin has a bar, and we went into my cousin's bar, which is closed, and we did a gig. And just to be sharing, and we were 6 feet apart, and I had a mask on half the time, and he had his mask on, and his wife was the one in the audience, keep telling him to put his mask on, which was cute. And it wasn't just about performing. It wasn't about performing in front of people virtually online. It was about that, filling that space in my soul that has been. Last gig I did was on February 26th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do that. That's really cool.
Drumming to meeting Jenna's friends. There was some good. Oh yeah, always, for sure. Yeah. So it's. I know the outdoor thing is going to happen, and I believe that, and the drive-in thing, and.
Yeah.
But, and playing in an intimate club with.
Yeah.
You and Steve and.
I know.
Other amazing musicians. It's.
I know it's a ways away, but I just keep thinking it'll happen. We'll get through this, and it may not be normal when we get back to it, but it'll be there. It's just too important not to be there in some way.
Have you talked to, I'm going to try to plug something in while we're talking. Have you talked to any club booking people or anything?
I have an email exchange with the gals in the Ivy Room.
Yeah. Let's check that out, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're struggling. They're suing their insurance company.
Yeah.
Because they're getting coverage for this. And they're struggling to just keep the doors open. That's pretty much it. I mean, I've had, all my gigs have been canceled, so I've had those emails come back and forth, but it's not been like, I haven't, yeah, I mean, those were pretty early on when those cancellations came through, and so all the club owners were just worried and not knowing what the future was, and just like we all were. I don't know what the sort of the vibe is right now about reopening. I know in some states they're doing it, and it seems crazy to me. I think we're going to end up seeing a pretty big spike in infections again.
Yes. So are you strict sheltering at home and limiting your outdoor time as far as shopping and all that stuff? Yeah,
I mean, we're only doing it as necessary. In the beginning, I was doing all the grocery trips because we agreed that I was the most expendable one in the family. Michelle does all the cooking, so like we'd all starve without her.
Guess it should be you then.
Yeah, grocery shopping. We've got takeout a few times, which has been really great. You just walk out and they drop it off at the door and you just pick it up. Wearing a mask and gloves. It's pretty safe. I have been going out. We're going outside for exercise. So Michelle goes on walks all the time. I go on walks. I go on bike rides. Try to get Evan out of the house. And then just last week, for the first time, we went to this friend's house and stood 10 feet apart in the driveway and played some music and walked to the park. Spread out, and that was really cool. That was another thing that I was missing a lot. Was just that companionship and social interaction with our friends. So I feel like that's just getting to feel a little bit more relaxed. It's still, we're still wearing masks, we're still distancing, but like at least we're seeing people. Whereas before, for a month or 6 weeks, we didn't even see anybody. So that feels good, but it still feels smart
to stay home, to shelter.
Yeah,
I agree. I was going to ask you something in regards to, have you been to a farmer's market or?
I haven't been to a farmer's market. There's one around the corner from us, but Michelle went there once. It was so crowded. She just walked. She couldn't deal. It was too scary for her. So we don't, it's just the aisles are super narrow and everyone's all crunched together. So it's not worth it.
They're starting, Michigan just extended sheltering into June. It was May 31st, and now it's June 12th, I think. But the market, there's one market that opened today, and I was kind of curious and maybe going to go just do a drive-by. My mom and I go on a lot of drives. Everything's been blossoming this week, and
nice.
The tulips were out, and so that's been fun. But I was thinking about just checking it out and seeing, and I understand that they're doing one line and no samples, and it's just going to be part of our whole.
There's a way to do it.
Now norm. Yeah.
You just have to be smart,
I think you could play on your porch, in your driveway.
Yeah, we could. Actually, so Michelle had this idea yesterday of, because, we have a drum kit here, obviously, and a piano, and pretty much every instrument known to man, just about. We've got a guitar, mandolin, saxophone, trumpet. And Evan played some gigs last summer, and Michelle thought, why don't we have them out in the backyard and have them, spaced 15 feet apart? Because we have a drum set and a keyboard, and they can just come and practice once a week. And we all agreed that was a great idea.
Well, I'd be down to, when I'm back, I'd be down to doing something with you guys.
Oh, for sure. When are you coming back?
I'm going to stay here a while longer and see what happens.
I honestly think we could do a gig in my driveway.
Let's do it.
We could invite people to come, tell them to bring their chairs and stay far apart. I'm
down. I'm sure Steve would be.
Everybody's, people are desperate for it.
Yeah.
We are, but so are people to hear it,
And I would love for you guys to come this way too. Maybe one of these summers we're going to do a tour with the Charmers.
Yeah, we almost got it together for this summer. I was really excited because I still have lots of friends in Ann Arbor that I'd love to go see, and I love Michigan. I have a close connection to it from going to school there, and so I was all excited. But didn't quite. I feel like we're getting closer every year to making it happen.
And this is the type of band we will be playing this music and together. It's such a special group, and we seem to, the days that we end up rehearsing and or having gigs near, something significant happens in the world.
Yeah. Right.
And so we get together and we're like, oh, I need the connection with you and Steve, and I just love it, and I know that it's going to be for the rest of my life is how I feel about this band.
Oh,
I do.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
I do. So you should all check out Jenna and the Charmers. Are we on? I don't say the word anymore. You can find it online, but Jeremy you have about 700 of them left at the house.
I do, yeah. I was just, several hundred.
Yeah.
CDs still available.
Lots of CDs. And your book, how many, do you keep a stack of them at your home, in your trunk?
I do have a stack of them. Right now I'm down like the last 10 copies that I have in my possession, but I can always order more. So actually now's the time for me to order more because those will go pretty quick. But, I sell that. I mean, I did a reading when we launched the book, and I sold a lot of them then, and I sell them sometimes at gigs. And I've talked, and I came to Michigan last year and did a book thing there and sold a bunch, but most people buy it on Amazon or Hudson Music, so I don't need to have a big stack of them here, but I do like to have some just for, when I meet people in person. And a lot of people really prefer it that way. They love the idea of supporting me directly and buying the book and having me hand it to them and sign it and all that. So it's always fun. Yeah. Have
you done anything during this time? Have you, you're riding your bike. Are you finding new foods or have you and Michelle been making any interesting meals at home?
I'm not much of a cook. I'm more of a dishwasher.
Ah, are you a prep cook? Does she get you chopping things?
Only on occasion. It's really her domain. So I haven't gotten into new food stuff, but I have done some collaborative recording, which is cool.
Ooh.
I don't know if you know this app called Acapella, where you can make like a video recording of you playing and then send it to someone and they can add their track on top of it, and then it has like the 5 windows with the 5 musicians.
I haven't done yet, but Keith Terry just rolled on.
That's something else we should do. We should definitely do that, for sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So I've done a few of those. Those have been fun.
Hi, Keith Terry. Keith Terry just scrolled on.
Hey, Keith, what's up, buddy? Nice to see you.
Keith performed with Jenna and the Charmers.
That's right. Keith and I we teach together up at a music camp in California called Cazadero Performing Arts Camp. Yeah. So we've been up there for years together. He and Evie do their thing. They're so great.
They're so great.
Yeah,
so
great. Really treasures of California for sure. Those guys.
Well, I'm so happy that you decided to wake up this morning. Are you getting up early? Is this part, or was this a special? No, he said I was getting up early. And I thought you were doing Sunday night. So when you called this morning, I was like, oh wow, Jeremy Steinkoler's calling me so early. And then he thought, yeah, I'm doing your show this morning. I'm like, because I had written down PM, but this started off the day for a lot of people. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you so much for asking me to come on, and thank you also for doing this like on a regular basis. That's so much awesome content that you're providing, and interesting people, and great stories, and good music, and I think it's awesome, Jenna. Really creative way of like making something where there was nothing. So thank you.
Thank you. It's been such a joy, and I've met people. People will scroll on that don't know who I am, and they end up like my friend Bill Winokur. If you happen to know who Bo and Bill Winokur are, check them out. Bo and Bill Winokur, Winiker. Incredible. His brother Bo is a drummer, and they were on last week, and they had this. Their stories are so incredible, and Gary Lambert was on. He's on every Saturday night, one more Saturday night, and it's community and connection. So here I'm turning you on to my, who's here, and it's interesting how many drummers that have like not gravitated towards it, but it's just you're everywhere. You drummers are everywhere.
You know what? I have found that there's like a really strong feeling of community among drummers, like in the world. This last year I went to this conference called PASIC, Percussive Arts Society International Conference, and it's like all drummers converge on this like conference center in Indianapolis. And there's clinics, and there's panels, and there's discussions, and there's performances, and there's an expo, and it's awesome. And like drummers are super supportive, I find, of one another and interested in what's going on, and the enthusiasm for my book has been really cool. I just sent a copy to Mike Clark. Mike Clark, of course.
Mike Clark we used to be roommates.
Of course, that doesn't shock me.
Mike Clark used to take care of my pig PW in my backyard.
Oh my God, that's so. I have to tell him that.
Yeah.
And he read it and he called me up and
hey,
said,
man, how you doing, man?
Yeah, hey, but Jim, what's up? He called me to tell me how much he got out of it, how much he learned from it. And I was like, oh my God, here's one of my heroes telling me that he learned from my book. It's like, oh, it was so rewarding. And he wrote me this awesome quote, testimonial for it. And I just, everybody's been so supportive, and everyone's so cool, and it's just great to be a part of that bigger community.
Well, I support you. I love you. I adore you. You're an incredible drummer and great friend. And through this whole project, I'm glad we've been able to hang, and that it's still happening.
Likewise, the hang's the best part.
It's a really great hang for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna let you. Are you gonna go bike riding now?
Not today.
No. How's the weather? What's it like?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The last couple of days, it's been gorgeous. It's like 70 degrees, sunny.
It was 81 here yesterday in St. Joe. And then it poured and thunder and lightning last night like crazy. And I love it, but Lillian's not so into it that much. She's like, and you still have two cats? One cat?
Two cats.
And do they go out, or are they sheltering?
Yeah. No, they're outside cats.
Oh, so they're checking out what's going on. They're seeing new things.
Yeah. I met. Yeah. It was kind of funny for a while that we were stuck in the house and they were going in and out all the time.
Have a good time out there, God.
Yeah, exactly. Let me know how it is. Bring back an olive branch or something. Let us know it's go outside.
Birds. We have eggs or little bird. What do you call it? Robins outside the window that we've been watching, which has been fun. Well, wow. I'm going to have you back on sometime. I would love that, and let's figure this a cappella thing out.
Yeah.
Teach me. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what to do. Do I download the app?
Yes. First, download the app. I think you can make for free up to like 30-second recordings, and then you have to pay I think it's not cheap. It's like $10 a month to have the service, and you can do as many recordings as you want for as long as you want. It's cool, and you can retrack it as many times as you want. You can mix. There's some mixing, and there's some audio processing stuff you can do. So it's kind of like make recordings for it's not super deep like Pro Tools or anything, but there's enough stuff on it that you can do some pretty decent sounding recordings.
Can I sing and then you could do all that stuff?
Yeah, that's easy.
Okay.
It's easy. There's not much to it. So it's like one person has to lay down their part first.
So so Steve would lay down the part.
Yeah, right. For example, and he can use a metronome, and then he sent it to me. Then I have the drum part, then the bass, and you sing on top. We'll make it happen. Let's
do it. All right.
Cool, man.
Cool, man.
Great to see you.
Thank you so much, Jeremy Steinkoler. Yikes. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. He's cool. So that's how we scroll here on 11:11 with Jenna. People come on, we hang out, we talk. I made pancakes. I will make some food sometime. People have said cook something in, because we're in my kitchen. So cook something in your kitchen. It'll happen. I'm going to be getting a ring light this week, and I keep moving things around. Maybe maybe we'll do from outside sometime in my garden. That's just starting now, so in the next while. So happy Sunday to all of you. I guess tonight's guest will be maybe me. Unless Keith Terry or somebody wants to come on tonight. 11:11 with Jenna. Who's there? Hi, Kevin. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll be back tonight. Love hard.